those of us who have been following working group know by now that the process has been very slow, but we realize that slow is of course relative because we're faster than the other group. Largely because of two things, approach. I think that the two chairs actually approach the negotiations differently, and also the bulk of the text that they have to tackle. The Korean co-chair actually went through third reading quick, like he was. On Monday, we were wondering where is he going because he was just skipping things that are bracketed. If there's no comment, then we go to the next one. So they finished third reading on Monday night, and they were happy about that. No, yesterday, not Monday night. They were happy about that. It's good to make yourself happy once in a while. Small things, because things are relative anyway. So they finished third reading without touching the most controversial parts of that working group, which is on section 4, IFSD, those 5 or 6 paragraphs that deal with the proposed Sustainable Development Council, the reforms of the ECOSOC, and the reforms in IEG, International Environmental Governance, UNEP, etc. And the main reason why they did not touch that on third reading is because G77 is not yet ready to present its collective common position on the issues. On Monday night, they said that they're hopeful that they will come back in that working group ready. But then on Tuesday, they said, it's difficult, Mr. Chair. We'll just let you know when we're ready. So you can go back to section 1, so we're on fourth reading. So everybody's happy that, okay, we're on fourth reading. At least we're touching the landmine issues. It's quite, you can actually make a full comics caricature out of it, but that's how it goes. On the issues, I think we also have to note that there are other issues beyond or outside of Rio+20 that are creeping into the IFSD discussion, like this whole thing about QCPR, the Quadrennial Comprehensive Policy Review of the UN, which is happening later this year, has crept into the text. I think 2 paragraphs introduced, some phrases introduced by Mexico, which was actually rapidly opposed by G77 because they thought that they think that it actually prejudges the outcome of this comprehensive review happening later this year. Like if you are outside of this UN circle, you actually get lost. I actually had to Google what is QCPR. They did not even bother to explain what is QCPR because it's the New York people talking to each other. So it was quite difficult. But for us, those of us who are following, of course, the key issues like access to information, there are some interesting things that came out from that working group, which we raised in our intervention as NGOs at the end of the afternoon session. This proposal of the US, Canada, and New Zealand to delete reference to right to information, and the US proposal to supplant it with the concept of access to legitimate information, which is for us dangerous. We raised that in our intervention. And in relation to that, Principle 10 remains controversial, paragraph 59. There's no change in positions. Actually, G77 clarified that they're not against the implementation of Principle 10. They just don't want to have that in that paragraph, but wants it in paragraph 17 in section 2, which will be tackled this morning. But those working on P10, the Access Initiative, will see that those are 2 different approaches to implementing Principle 10. And also the proposal for the ombudsperson, high-level person on future generations is, of course, controversial because Russia and G77 continue to oppose it. They want it deleted. They don't understand what it is. But not understanding what it is not unique to G77. It's just that they don't understand. They want to dump it. But Australia, what else? Let me review. Was it Switzerland? Sorry.
It was US and Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico, yes, Australia said that they don't understand, but they want to understand more. And they wanted to retain theirs for discussion. So those are 2 different approaches to that statement. I don't understand. One is to dump, one is, okay, let's discuss it first. So we have gone into 4th reading, and the chair, as I said, has a totally different approach from the other chair. because he's only presenting his new CSE, new chair's text, streamlined text in this fourth reading, para by para, which became an issue because a number of delegations, EU, Switzerland, and a number of others actually wanted him to present all his new NCST so they can see each para in relation to the other, and they can see the context better. But the chair did not want to. He wanted it para by para, which actually causes some problem because these are interrelated para, especially the preambular part in section 1. But his point is, since it's agreed ad ref, you can go back to it anytime, which could cost more time. And also, you won't see the interrelation more holistically, so they will keep on coming back. Like, for example, para 2, which was quite, they took a lot of time because there's this reference to human rights, to UDHR, to right to development, and G77 proposed a package proposal which they worked on for I think more than 30 minutes in a huddle, and they came back happy again with some revisions on the text. And then once they were sitting and thinking that it would be agreed ad ref, some delegations started raising their positions that they cannot accept this as is, after working on it for 30 minutes. So it's quite confusing. So I wasn't there in the evening session because I moved to the other room. But they stopped on I think NCST 15, 16, the top.
Yeah, they will start with the major group section.
Yes.
17.
17.
And could I just mention also, I think there's not, as Neth was saying, I think we're still kind of stalled on the IFSD, but and maybe you discussed this yesterday, but Monday night, Mexico did put on the table a proposal about involving the General Assembly and FSOC in the heads of review, which I think is probably the most significant thing that's happened yet on that front. But I also understand that they have begun a series of briefings for a number of the delegations, and so I think that's going on in the background. That's I'm sure going to be surfacing in more detail as we go through.
Well, thank you very much to both of you for your excellent work.